Yeah. But same thing happened to me, and my boot drive, my SSD, just completely fried on me.
Yeah,
Would
like
not recognize it at
that
all.
wouldn't. But I have a boot SSD. I have games SSD. I have three HDDs. None of that was being recognized. So it's my mobile. That's what I was telling you guys about. But I pulled the power cord out for a minute, took a piss, came back, plugged it in. Now booted. I don't know. I'm just gonna throw a new motherboard in it. So I ain't got no time for that. I'll pay the money and just whatever. But like I said, I just want to build this. I literally right here, guys. I have. It's all there. I just need to do it. Haven't had time. Is Puppy still around?
Oh, Jesus.
He accepted the call.
him. Yeah,
He's
there
on
he
stuck
goes,
his
there you
radio on.
Yeah, sorry. I was taking.
I'll let you live.
You're on thin ice, puppy.
I
Thin
know.
ice.
I know. It's all my fault.
Let's see. I think. Why is that? Why is that all messed up? You were saying Battlefield 4 is nice?
I think it's one of the better Battlefields.
I pulled the whole. I hit the main.
Yeah,
circuit
no,
breaker.
I said that. As soon as you hear anyone say that, it generally is an overload. But I won't lie, I completely forgot what we were talking about before I even interrupted with that.
Yeah, I did too.
I think we were mentioning about what DICE could do to actually get competitive stuff working in Battlefield. I don't think it's actually that hard to do, but you gotta have a focus for it, and it won't happen.
What's so frustrating about it.
Might not happen now, but it will happen soon. It's only a matter of time, in my opinion.
Just a matter of beating it into the devs' heads until one of them realizes.
It's still like bosses tell them to do it more.
Yeah.
If anything. So, and like I said, I think that will happen eventually. I don't think there's anything.
There's
have to
money
work.
there, though. Like, I just. You
Yeah,
figure
it's about selling copies of the game or the
Yeah.
DLC.
for sure.
It will happen. Just take some time.
And I mean, like I've said for a long time too, I think that the maps shouldn't be if they could do the comp thing, and they could even stick with comp rules if they just they gave away their maps for free and just sold guns and stuff like that. And you still get the attention on it if you focus your efforts towards the comp scene.
Problem is that DLC and premium and so on is very anti-competitive game because it's. How do you balance something you release like that on a regular basis? It's just doesn't work. That's why ESL doesn't even touch any of the DLC stuff because it's pay to win basically.
Yeah.
That's why 90% of the leagues out there don't ever use DLC.
Yeah,
It's all vanilla based game. If you look at Battlefield 3, all the way up until the very end of it, it was all vanilla maps all the time. People used to complain all the time. Why are we only seeing Baz, Sign, Metro, Damavan? Well, it's because those are the maps that everybody has. Those are that's what everybody has. So that's what we're going to be going with.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you could hit that dead horse all day long. It's the same thing. That conversation loops round and round and round.
Comes
Yeah,
down
it
to
does.
effort. Yeah.
But the cool thing is that there is potential here and now. We have private servers that just launched on console. We have
Those are so horrible.
what is
Some of the private servers. I use Quick Match on occasion when nobody else is on and I'm bored, and I have
never
run
used
into
Quick Match in my life.
I have run
Yeah.
into more than one occasion where I will Quick Match domination and it'll throw me in a 64-man domination server, and it's just like, oh my god.
that was the problem. That's the problem with PC is that most of them are 64-man. That's why I actually liked. There for a while, I actually liked playing PlayStation 4 domination as opposed to PC because it was in there only in the 20-man servers, so
Right.
it was a lot easier to play. But anywho's, I'm not going at it as a public. I'm talking about private, as in this is going to allow consoles to have events. This is going to allow them to scrim. This is going to allow them to play different game types other than diffuse, all this other kind of stuff. I mean, it opens it up. The possibilities are really, really big now for consoles. And in my opinion, and Dogbert's not here to contradict this, but in my opinion, if Battlefield is going to be successful as an esport, it's going to be on the console, not the PC.
Oh, that's interesting. So yeah, go on with that. Before Dogbert gets back to tell you you're crazy.
Yeah. I've said for a long time, I think first-person shooters as a whole
What
belong to
happened now?
console.
We just lost Brett now. Or did we not?
No, I'm
Oh,
here.
no.
All right, we lost your camera.
His video disappeared. It's back.
Every time, puppy. Every time.
Oh, dude.
But
It's something. Not
yeah,
you, Brett.
it'll most likely be on the consoles, and I mean it's not a bad thing that it is on the consoles. It just sucks if you come from a PC oriented play. But I think that's just the way that most things are going to be going for a while. I think that PC is going to be dominated by the MOBAs. CS:GO is always going to be there, but it's for the most part going to be dominated by the MOBAs. But the cool thing is that we're starting to see leagues and ladders and stuff pop up for them. We're starting to see some events come out. There's a 1K tournament that Level's going to be holding for Xbox. Then you have the Road to Glory series for PlayStation 4. They're going to start going with cups. You have the console side of ESL that's going to start holding cups and events and tournaments as well. So I mean, it's pretty exciting in terms of for consoles in terms of the growth that's going to be potentially happening there.
Oh. I can see that. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, anything that breaks up the monotony and diffuse.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they're going to be looking at doing a Dom diffuse obliteration style.
Multi games.
So it's going to be multi games. Well, it's going to be interesting how they're going to balance it out. I don't know how well it's going to work, because the community, at least for the PlayStation side of things, is split right now. You have half that want to go for only one single game type, and you have half that want to have that multiple game type.
So they can focus on. Yeah. Well, I mean, it makes sense, like from a player standpoint, but I think as far as part of the reason why I cheer for the multi-gaming is because it's more of a fan thing. It's more entertaining to watch them do different things. It's more entertaining to watch them have to be good at more than just one thing.
It makes sense for everybody to do that. The only one that would have a problem with it would be the players, because they now have to learn different game types.
Right.
But if you think about it, the players, the majority they'll have more fun because it'll be more accessible to more people, which means that it's going to bring in more players, which means that you're going to have more competition. It's going to be better for the casters, because it's actually going to be interesting to cast instead of just one game type over and over and over and over and over again. You have multiple game types. It's going to be changing things up a little bit. And then for the event organizers themselves, it's a little bit better for them because, again, it's going to bring in more and more people into the game, so they're going to have more teams in their actual events, which potentially could bring in sponsors, which brings in money. I mean, it's better for everybody if it gets up and running. So the problem is getting everybody, getting all the settings figured out and everything like that, and then get it going through. But I mean, it's been proven that it is successful, and it's. I mean, if you look at Halo, look at Call of Duty, they both did it. They were both tremendously successful in terms of viewing, especially. And it's also better for building a story for a particular team. Some teams, they may not be good at search and destroy, but they're amazing at domination, or they're not too good at. So I mean, you build up these teams that are good in certain areas, not good in others, and they kind of match up against other teams, and it's an interesting play that comes out of it. So, that's a cool thing there that's going to be coming out for it, and. But yeah, I mean, there is some very, very positive things coming out for comp. One of the biggest positives for me, anyways, we kind of touched on this a little bit before, is the fact that South America is exploding in terms of just general esports, but especially in Battlefield. They are loving Battlefield. In fact, they had a test cup not too long ago, about 3 weeks ago. A test cup with 16 teams, no money on the line, no nothing. They had 1,500 viewers.
Holy cow! Holy cow!
We struggle to get 1,500 viewers for an ESL One, offline main stage.
Right, prime time.
And that's pretty big. So that's the best teams in the world that are facing off there. So it's very, very impressive seeing what's coming out of here. We also have. Several teams. And see, here's the other thing. Dogbert was kind of touching on this. They need players to be those stars.
Right.
Well, Dogbert's been in my chat before. He's been in my streams. He's cast with me before. If you've paid attention in chat, especially when we're casting Uranus, you'll see names pop up. Snarf, Revolts. You'll see Zig. You'll see, these guys. They'll pop up, and they're the favorites. That's what people want to watch. They have their stars.
I know those names, so that tells you
South
something.
America.
Yeah.
So
rival X Factor.
Oh yeah.
What about Jack Frags? Is he still doing it?
Just don't even, dog.
No, Jack Frags?
He was on
Infused.
Infused, right?
Yeah, Jack Frags plays, but not too often. He did play at the LAN though.
It's weird. Do you think you might see teams like kind of latch on to a bigger YouTuber just for kind of the PR and the buzz? And not that it's a bad thing. I'm just saying.
They'll go for
They
organization.
got to be good players.
Not a YouTuber.
Yeah, they'll go for established teams.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But see, the thing is that the YouTubers do not make. It's not that they don't make good competitive players, but the YouTubers,
you have to have the cred too. Yeah, I mean.
No, not that. The YouTubers won't support competitive play unless they are terribly successful, because nobody wants to see their favorite YouTuber get beat, pounded on, bashed in a game. They
all will. By the way.
Yeah, and they will. I mean,
and they know it.
As good of a player as he is, we cast him in on Land King Dam versus was it Unitas? I think it was Unitas or ESC. It was Unitas or ESC. Anyways, he did not do well, and they ended up losing that map. It was versus ESC. They did not do well at all, and it's kind of like, well. Does he really want to put that on his YouTube channel?
And even if he does do well,
really want to promote that?
It's not really good content as a YouTube content. It's typically slower, not as there's no epic 7-man back rages.
Well, I think another thing too though is you just can't have like just Jack Frags though. I think if you just have like as far as we are getting in the English area, I'm going to say, just because Southern America, I've seen the chat, and when it blows up I'm like, I have no idea what you're saying, but this is cool. But like we really,
man, it's
yeah,
crazy.
I know they go nuts, dude.
Cultural,
like,
right?
For real, they go nuts. But I'm just saying, like, we really only have like Jack Frags right now as far as like huge YouTube personalities, and just poking
For
around
that, I
for
applaud
this
them,
podcast,
to draw
I
attention.
actually found several comp players that have YouTube channels, but they're just not very well known.
Which is,
and like I think like if you could just get the big personalities to be against each other, I mean, like in kind of like a Halo-esque like T-squared versus Walshy kind of way, like that's all you need. Is you need the two big people that are button heads. That way people have sides to pick, and
you have that right now in South America. There are the big players that I was just talking about. They have fairly decent channels. In fact, Zig actually has like a 200,000 sub channel or more.
Well, like you got in COD, you got T Martin buying into Envy. You've got Fwiz and all those guys in Opt. You got these big personalities. Love them, hate them, whatever. Attached to the brand. So hey guys, it works. I'm not saying it should.
You're
I'm not
seeing
saying
that,
but it does. But yeah,
you're seeing that down in South America though.
Cool.
You're seeing these two basically giants. You have Uranus Gaming and Noobs in War, and they are the two dominant teams. And anytime I cast those teams, I get a massive amount of viewers.
That's cool.
I believe the biggest viewership that I ever got was I actually cast these two teams in a finals match, and I hit like over 5K. In that particular stream, and it was just a 10v10 matchup for the finals, and I mean it was amazing, and it wasn't just like all one team came or one support was for one team.
Right.
It was fairly down the middle as to who they like. You had a lot of people for Noobs and War, a lot of people for Uranus, and it does create that rivalry that you were talking about. So it's already developing within South America. It's just not developing really anywhere else that you would think it was. And the weird thing is too is that and Dogbert and myself actually talked about this before. The big popular game mode right now in South America, at the very least that gets a lot of views, is 10v10. 10v10, not 5s, but 10s. And the reason why that's so weird is because you have very few 10v10 teams. I mean, you have 12 active 10v10 teams right now in South America, South and North America, and that's it. And it's amazing how many people will show up for these 10s and not for the 5s. and it's really is a different situation down there in South America. It's exciting. It really is exciting. You have ESL Brazil that's going to be starting back up, going to be starting up here. Hopefully, getting some Go4 Cups and some other things like that. So there's a lot of potential there for South America, and it'll be interesting to see what comes out of there because, as Dogbert has stated, when are we going to have an ESL One for Brazil?
Or I was going to say, like, when are we going to get like South America facing off versus Euro, like some kind of all-star, like just I don't know. It sounds like it'd be fun.
It sounds like it'd be fun,
for
but
the Brazilians.
I think the animosity.
Do what, dog?
Not for the Brazilians. They'd get absolutely fucking smashed.
Oh, yeah, they would get smashed. They
can't even use the right weapon in the game yet. I mean, they'll learn.
The level of play difference.
So there's still a skill difference. Okay, but
there's
so it's more of a following thing versus
the best team. Okay. The best team for South Americans couldn't hold a candle to, I would say, even like the 6th or 7th team for Europe right now. I mean, they just get completely outclassed.
What's keeping a Fnatic from getting a team in there? Not just because of
their game skill, but because of the way they play. They just don't know how to play the maps yet. Dogbert actually cast a match with me the other day, and we're sitting there going like, why are they doing this? This is the semifinals of one of the biggest tournaments there. It's like, what the hell are they thinking? Like, why are they using this, or why are they going over here, or why are they, spawning in this particular area? But it's always been that way. You have, or at the very least, since I've been in competitive play, you always have Europe, who is about 4 to 5 months ahead of the curve, and then you have North America and South America that comes in behind them, and that comes with basically league rules, that comes with weapon bans, that comes with what weapons that are trending at the particular time, that comes with strategies, that comes with all that kind of stuff. Would you disagree there, dog?
No, Europe's always been better in America at FPSs.
I agree. I hate to say it, but I agree.
It's because it's more contained, and more importantly, we have a lot more offline events. Yeah. There's ESL is a big part of it, but DreamHack as well. But you have a lot more regular events and more local ones within the countries in Europe than you do in America. America's too big for its own good to ever have like that many successful LANs. You have big blowout
logistically
events,
wise,
but not on a regular scheme of things. It's going to keep competitive teams ticking over, and that's why there's so many more competitive organizations in Europe than there is in America. I mean, after CGS collapsed, there was like no American organizations left. They'd all got bought up and disappeared, and Complexity was the only one that came out of it alive. Others came since, but it is dark age, and America's only really recovered recently.
Yeah, you have MLG that's starting to come in. They're having the regular events, and then the UMG events that are going to be alongside that as well. So you're starting to get a little bit more of the regularity. But yeah, absolutely. The problem is that right now North America is way too big. You have a lot of your gamers are on the East or the West Coast. And notice I said or. I mean, really, that's where your events are going to be. They're on the East or the West. You have one in Dallas. You have one maybe up in Chicago. But for the most part, it's going to be a very long travel. And it's a lot of money to have to, travel, from one coast to the other one. I mean, you're looking at, a 6-7 plane trip, plus your hotels, plus, all of that stuff. Whereas, in Europe, I'm not saying that you don't have the same issues, but it's like what Dog was saying. I mean, look at France, for instance. I mean, my gosh, France is crazy with esports. I mean, they have events all the time. It's just you just don't have that in North America, and it's very rough for any kind of comp scene to come out of it that could be on the same level of Europe. And yeah, you're absolutely right. It's because of the amount of events that we play in. It's because of just the amount of time that's being played and put into the game.
Yeah, you also have the fact that you also have different languages. Therefore, they have to have different marketing teams for each one. So each region in Europe gets their own separate people. So the French EA represent guys. They're they interact a lot with the competitive
focused
scene.
more.
It's very active. They post about the players. They post about the streams. They post about their achievements and events coming up. And the French BF scene is probably the strongest in Europe, followed strongly by then the Germans and then maybe the Swedes. But that's Battlefield and always has been. It's BF3 was almost exclusively at one point, apparently, the French teams. I skipped out on BF3. It's the only one I really didn't pay attention to. But yeah, we have so much more going on in Europe, but that's always been the case. So I feel sorry for Americans.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's always kind of been the case, so it doesn't really surprise me too much. I wanted to touch on just a total tangent, and this might be entertaining, it might be a dud. Call of Duty at the X Games. You guys have any opinions on this? Good for esports? Non-issue? Puppy, you're grimacing. What do you got there?
You know what?
This is from a macro esports standpoint. Is it going to be trickle down?
From a macro standpoint,
mainstreamy esports going mainstream. What do you? I
don't think it's going to do anything. Honestly, at all. I genuinely don't think it's going to change anything at all.
I think it'll do things for the individual.
Maybe for the individuals that do participate, but and maybe I'm sure there's money to be made. Otherwise, they wouldn't be trying to do this. But I think for an overall, like, are you going to see some competitive growth across gaming as a whole because of this? No, I don't think so. Just because the people that are going to go out of their way to watch that are already probably watching that.
Probably.
I think the people that the crowd that the X Games has isn't necessarily going to just jump on board it. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think I am, personally. Otherwise, I wouldn't feel that way.
Yeah, no, I think that this is a pitiful ploy to get onto either TV, because I think it is going to be on ESPN.
Yeah, definitely is going to be on TV.
But here's the thing. Why try to put it on TV? It's been proven in studies right now that the majority of my generation, up in the mid-20s, and younger,
the internet.
We get everything off the internet. We streams. I mean, look at Twitch. Twitch is one of the biggest media outlets for entertainment, and it's growing. It continually grows. It's just, I don't understand why they keep going back to TV. TV is going to always be there, but it's not going to be the dominant source anymore.
Yeah.
It's going to be internet. It's going to be on your phone. It's going to be on your tablet. It's going to be on your computer. Not going to be on your TV anymore. I don't even have a TV. I haven't owned a TV in years.
If it weren't for my wife and kids, I wouldn't have cable. I wouldn't have.
I don't watch TV. If I want to watch a TV show, I watch it on Hulu.
Yeah.
That's it. And I don't watch many TV shows at all. All of my entertainment comes from the computer. It comes from Twitch. It comes from YouTube. It comes from, playing games, interacting with people, that type of stuff. It doesn't come from the TV anymore. So I think them trying to get into this X game crap is just retarded. It's because there is some kind of money there that we're not.
I was going to say, I don't think we. I mean,
I don't know where it's coming from, but there is something there that they are going to be making money off of.
You're taking it from.
But, to be honest with you, these guys have already created massive lands.
Yeah.
Okay, they have the massive lands going for them. They know how to do those. They're incredibly successful. I mean, you're talking about hundreds of thousands of people tuning in onto the streams, which, by the way, these streams provide revenue that they control completely. I mean, look at MLG. MLG has their own streaming system that only they stream on. So if you want to go watch an MLG event, you have to go watch on their channel.
Oh, they're throwing tons of money on individuals too. Yeah,
100% of all of the revenue coming off of those ads goes to them. Yeah. It doesn't go to through Twitch or whatever. It goes straight to them.
It's all about branding.
Any sponsors on it, it goes to them. So this is just
demographics and branding. It's all.
It's going to be something out there like a quick little ploy trying to say, "Oh, we were about the X Games, blah 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 blah."
Right, and they can always say that forever now.
Yeah, and another part of it is that the crowd, it's like Puppy said, the crowd that's there, they're not going to be interested.
Yeah.
They're not interested. Here's the thing. The only people who are interested in gaming are gamers. It's like paintball. Paintball had tried to be on TV. Many
that's
times.
A good parallel.
The only people who watch paintball are paintball players. That's it. If you don't play paintball, you don't watch it. That's just as simple as that. I mean, it's been on ESPN more times than I can count. I have old recordings. I have them on DVDs. I even have on VHS stored somewhere. Yes, I know what a VHS is, guys.
Dude, I'm older than you. I know what you're talking about. But I think, don't you think some of that loyalty is baked into the fact that, like, you can't just turn a TV on and watch a tournament? Like, there's some issue of seeking it out, finding it online. You watch it. Like, it's almost like when you find that band before they hit it big, right? And then you feel that you identify with that band. Maybe I'm dating myself again. And now you got this loyalty to that band because I knew them before they were huge. You know, all these leagues and tournaments and stuff, like, you have to seek them out. You have to be a little knowledgeable. You have to get, you find them. Then if it's just, you turn on ESPN, it's there. It's just like this, it's very shallow consumption.
Who watches ESPN?
Well, that's a whole other podcast.
I do not know very many people my age and younger
it's
that
bar
actually watch
fodder.
ESPN.
It's bar fodder. That's all it is. You put it on a TV with no sound, and that's it. I mean, that's what it is.
The people who watch ESPN right now
aren't even
not
sports fans.
Tuning in. They're not going to tune in to gaming.
No, I agree.
No, not at all. Not at all.
They look at it, and they look at it as a bunch of kids that are just being a bunch of stupid, bratty little snots sitting in their mom's and dad's
nerds.
home.
It'd be nerds.
And that's it.
That's what it is.
And that's it. They don't see it as a potential to either make money or be competitive in any way at all.
Well, it's clearly a move for advertising dollars. It's and cross-platform branding, and that's where this is. So I just thought it was interesting. I mean, I think it can be bad for esports as a whole. More exposure and more legitimacy, if you will. At least from where the money's coming from. But it's like,
see, I really don't know because, like, I don't know if you guys remember back when G4 was the thing on TV, but they used to put a lot of tournaments and stuff up on their channel, or that channel I should say, back before it died and turned into basically some sort of
trailer channel.
Yeah, well now I wouldn't even call it that.
Reruns for cops.
Yeah, mostly it's reruns for cops nowadays. But I mean, back in the day, they used to actually have tournaments and stuff on there, and even then, how many people watched it? It wasn't like a huge deal. Like they put a lot into it production wise, but it didn't come back because it's not the right medium for the crowd that they're trying to broadcast.
Well, what do you think, Dog?
Well, first of all, from some of the stuff I've already read, you can still watch. You'll still be able to watch this through MLG TV.
That makes
sense. That doesn't really take away from our viewership already.
Right.
More importantly, it's a milestone. You can say that you're on national TV or whatever.
Well, that's
you can say you're on ESPN.
Yep.
That is an important thing. It's a progressive
Each player can
milestone
say
for
that.
esports. Yeah. It will. I mean, what are we talking about? The fucking X Games here. We're talking about fucking skateboarding.
I didn't even know they still put it on. Honestly, yeah.
Well, I'm
36 years old though, so yeah. I mean, I'm not supposed to know it's on.
I'm looking at just like BMXing and stuff like that.
That.
They've got all of this is just loads of niche sports.
What is underground? Yeah, right.
So what is esports? It's the same thing. But another. So in that respect, it's a good fit. It works fine. It will let some people know that this exists and it happens, and maybe the mainstream media will pick up on that, and that's only a good thing, and that's great for MLG. And I doubt MLG are paying them money to be on there. It would have been the other way around. They would have gone to MLG and said, "We'd like you to be here."
So.
So
yeah, I would
think for them, it's a win-win situation.
Yeah, it's a no-lose for at least.
The other thing about saying TV and like how gamers don't really use it or anything, like the amount of people in just America that tune in to watch TV is fucking mind-blowing. Like,
well, no, the amount of morons in America.
Everyone goes on and on about how esports and streaming is getting so much bigger, and and I get this impression as well because, like you guys, the internet and the computers took over. This is what I go to almost every day to get my information.
Me too. Yeah.
That's not the same for fucking everyone else. We're hardcore. Majority of people, they just fucking collapse on the fucking sofa, turn on that TV, and sit there until...
It's like the Matrix. They just put the thing in the back of their head, and they just sit there for 2 hours, and it's pretty crazy.
But I think even then, though, like most people, your typical American that's sitting and watching TV that doesn't want to think or whatever, I mean, most people nowadays have DVRs. Like, that's a pretty standard thing. So, I mean, even then, unless... like you really just ran out of shows to watch. I can't see people going out of their way to really watch it on cable.
Maybe not for this one. Maybe not for the next one.
Well,
but maybe there'll be a breakthrough.
You got to start somewhere. Yeah.
And that's where it's going to come through. It's like this might not be the one, but as soon as people hear about it, it will get bigger. And as soon as there are more places to view it, the more places you bump into esports, the more you accept it, the more you're willing to watch it, you're more likely to talk to other people, and that's where the great success.
Because there is a stigma to it a little bit. Let's not pretend. I mean, we've all had to deal with it at some. I'm sure we're all gamers. We're all So it's like I have a YouTube channel. It's the biggest passion in my life, second to my family, my kids. But it's my big hobby, my passion. I don't talk to anybody in real life about it. I don't know that anybody knows. Like some of my family know about it, but they don't know about it. Because it's like you're at a barbecue, you're drinking a beer. Like, so yeah, I make videos about games, and I spend an obscene amount of time doing it. No, there is some sense of stigma to it. So the more it's out there, and the more it's accepted, and the more people see, well, there's money to be made there. Because of course, money legitimizes anything.
Oh yeah.
So
legitimize COD.
Okay, well, I'm going to segue.
In that works.
We're going to loop back in.
Working anything.
Why is the media? And I'm going to get back in this here because this is like one of my pet little things right now. Why is the media not talking about the fact that Dota 2 has crowdsourced or crowd raised $5 million? What is it at now? Last I looked, it was $5 million in a prize pool. The winner's going to take home like $2 million, right? $3 million. The winning team of 5, which of course they have their support staff. That's flip everybody the bird money. This is what we need to see. And I understand Dota and League are really high barrier of entry games. It's not the casual game, but that money, somebody should be talking about it
But they were when League of Legends happened. So when League of Legends had its big final and it was in a stadium,
Staples Center, right? Yeah.
It was on national media and it was talked about. And a lot of it was quite negative. But what's going to happen when they talk about it the third and fourth and the fifth and the sixth time, and this doesn't become something it's a rarity, it becomes a regular thing.
And then suddenly brands and
on top of it.
And brands and companies are like, no, we like this. We get good value for our advertising dollar.
Coca-Cola, it's a matter of time. And it's, if anything, I'm just surprised we got to it at this point. No, the problem is that we're talking about a game. We're talking about Battlefield. We're down here. We're talking about another game that are fucking so far up there, it's unbelievable. So all we see is our fucking assholes.
But what's so cool about this is community funded in essence. There's no advertising dollars in this yet. This is all from people buying compendiums. It's like this. I bought one. I don't even play the game.
Was it $1.50 or $2?
I got $2.50. I think $7 into it.
Price on.
Yeah.
So that's not actually the entire amount of money.
No.
The rest of it's gone to Valve. Because they need more money.
Yeah, exactly.
Half-Life 3 don't make it so.
It's crazy. I think I got it for $7 just because I wanted to support it. I tinker around with it. I mess with it, but I don't play it. Yeah, and I just want to be a part of it. So when this goes asinine, I go, yep, that was a part of that. So I'm a sucker in essence, but I can't support this enough. I think it's awesome. And you need somebody to just blaze a trail, and then everybody else will follow. And like you said, I wish League would do something but they're doing their own thing. Like you said, filling sports stadiums. I'm with you though. It's going to take time, and unfortunately, these are all examples of the mother company, supporting the hell out of their game and pushing it and spearheading it forward.
They make money from that game through
we don't have that. We have our developer that doesn't do a goddamn thing, frankly, and I think that's the biggest disconnect and problem we have right now as far as looking at Battlefield is that we get zero. Like I said, you can't even. I guess they've been a little better recently, but they don't even retweet. They don't put it on their Facebook. They don't
their social media is fucking disastrous.
The Twitter is
Yeah, it's just like if I want to see pretty pictures of fucking Battlefield, I'll go play the fucking game. I don't need to post it on my Twitter feed on a regular fucking basis, or literally tell me about Battlefield moments that I fucking don't care about.
Or stunts or trolling.
It's fine. That's social media. That's how it all fucking is. I don't mind that, and I don't mind them promoting YouTubers either. That's fine, no fucking problem. But that strategy wasn't there early on. What you're seeing now, the promoting of the YouTubers and all this, is a fucking recent thing.
Yeah,
It's the new.
And that's only done by EA.
Yeah, that's the new guy they
by
brought in for the Battlefield franchise. I mean, I'm not going to start talking about Zinta, so.
No, but that's more EA. EA is more said,
Yeah.
we're going to harness YouTube. I don't even know if that's a DICE thing. Like, I think that's been set
That's
down.
EA
Yeah,
strategy
absolutely.
the whole time. They've always focused on
Absolutely.
YouTube.
So, but it's like, here's this tournament, and I stumble across it. And I'm a guy that consumes it, and I stumble across it, and Brett, what is this? Why do I not know about this? I'm not a casual guy, but I'm not a knowledgeable guy about competitive yet. Why am I not hearing? Why is this not being hyped to shit by them? It should be to me. Like, this in studio, highest production value. This should be their big thing, in my opinion. And I think
They have promoted the ESL stuff, just not very consistently and not as well as they could.
certainly.
They're doing it a bit more now, and before that it was pretty sporadic. The problem is that they don't really know what they've got, and there's a lot of people involved, and it just gets lost. That's always a problem. That's just what happens in big companies, and lots of people involved, and they don't know what's going on.
And I think the problem
their biggest problem is EA doesn't actually have a dedicated esports person, which means they don't fucking know what's going on.
well, and esports don't bring them direct money. You know,
It's fucking marketing, and they employ
it's indirect money, right? And they need to realize that
someone that could grow it in the future, but
it's like they want esports to grow on their own to make the money. They don't realize that they have to do something to kind of give them a push start to get going. It's like one's not going to happen without the other, and it's really frustrating.
Well, they brought in when they were going to be releasing the new Command & Conquer game. They hired some guy from Riot to become their esports manager for EA, and it was just EA esports manager. And as soon as the Command & Conquer got canned for being shit, he was out the job. So
whereas he could have
their
just
esports basically was StarCraft's doing really well at the moment. I guess we need something. We've got Command & Conquer here. That could be StarCraft killer for us, and we're going to make it competitive as well, like StarCraft. But because they're getting the esports like 2 to 3 years after it went big, it's like taking them so long.
They're fighting uphill, right?
It's too late. Yeah,
it's too late. Like they don't try and set trends; they just try and copy ones already.
That's corporate. Yeah, that's they react. They don't innovate. So,
except from Titanfall. Not that I've played Titanfall. It's too fucking big. I can't put it on my hard drive. For the fucking sake, it's so fucking.
I'm not
big.
gonna laugh at you because I don't even know what hard drives I'm running on right now. I think
that's something that's annoyed me about a lot of modern games, but that's probably a different podcast, different topic.
Right,
I've got you one for Battlefield. Why do you think Battlefield's gone in a way downhill? And I'll give you what I think it is. It's the fact that we have this fucking redundant, useless single-player game attached to a fucking multiplayer franchise, which does nothing but drag everything down.
It's an engine demo. That's all it is.
Then fucking give me an engine demo. Don't give me a fucking
I'm with
story.
you, man. I've made videos on this.
for real.
Waste all their fucking time when they could just make a multiplayer game, which is what everyone's paying for anyway.
That's the one thing I would say Titanfall did.
God.
Really, they did well. Is that they just said, screw it. We're not even going to pretend. I'm with you. There's no reason for it. And the whole tying in weapons and bullshit. Come on now. And it's like, all we heard about was the emotional attachment. And I'm not. There's no reason.
What?
Too much bloat, too much, and honestly,
say the B word, bloat. Yep. I mean,
you PC guys that you may rag on me for this one because I am console and I do play on the inferior graphical fidelity platform, but I think they place way too much emphasis on graphic fidelity and all that other crap. You know, you got shit flying all over the screen and rubble and stuff, and throwing all that stuff in the game, I think just kind of bogs it down and takes away from what the game really needs to be. Which is fun and balanced.
Well, yeah, it's gotta be balanced first. It's gotta be fun. I mean, it's and then you worry about the graphics and stuff. Yeah. So, Brett, you got quiet. Are you still awake?
Yeah, no, I'm here.
I've never seen you quiet for that long in my life.
No, I've been up since 5 o'clock this morning.
I'm with you. I'm there.
We're
kind of winding down now, so Is there anything you wanted to add?
No, pretty much. Like I said before, I mean, this is kind of one of those conversations that can go round and round forever.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
it's the same things being said, different things, and
there's no arguing here.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of aspects to it that need to be changed, but if they're going to change it, I don't know. I mean, I really don't.
Oh, Bubby's gone. Bubby had enough. He doesn't want to talk about single player. But like, all right, if you're insistent on the single player, then spin it off as a DLC and let some other sap that wants to play it pay for it. Like, I have no idea.
You can do single player Battlefield, make it the Bad Company ones. You're gonna do a multiplayer Battlefield, make it the numbered ones. Well, that's all I fucking want.
We're looking at a 2143, which maybe Puppy should be here for that. I'm thinking we're gonna get that towards the end here, either. But that's a whole other podcast.
Dinosaurs, man. That's what we fucking need.
I'm actually quite surprised we haven't at this, because DICE is not original with their idea. They just do what. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised we haven't seen that. To be quite honest,
take a chance.
It's the new. It's
fun.
It's the new dragon's teeth egg. There's gonna be a fucking T-Rex that comes out of somewhere.
Maybe that's what that missile is. Is like dragon egg or something flying with a Gatling gun. I don't know.
I mean, what is it right now? We've had a megalodon, and that's cool, but not that I've ever seen it except from in videos. But I mean, have some fucking fun with your game, because there's one thing, Battlefield's so fucking serious to the point of it's just mind numbing.
Well, let's see.
Fucking just have some fun, man.
I think Last Stand is gonna be there, just like.
If there's no fucking dinosaurs in that, I'm not.
Futuristic dinosaurs? I don't know, man. Frozen dinosaurs, maybe.
Fuck yeah. Dinosaurs. That's all
Exoskeleton dinosaurs?
Whatever.
Robot dinosaurs.
We're getting like conflicting genres here.
Street sharks. Just get them all in there.
A shark gun? Like, yeah.
Fucking Tremors. I don't know. Whatever. Just get it done. Like,
I think we've kind of gone off the rails here, and my topic list is long gone, and then we had the crash. But I want to say thank you, Dogbert, for coming on. I appreciate it. It was
a pleasure.
Very knowledgeable. And Brett, I don't know. You're right. You're worrying me here. You're very quiet.
Oh, no. I'm good. I got one more meeting that I got to set up after this talk about. But
don't let us hold you.
Yeah.
But no, thank you for coming on. Yeah. I appreciate it. Always a pleasure. And Puppy, of course, I did hear your voice this cast. I
have one.
That's an improvement. Chat, thank you. Thank you for sticking around. Not too many of you guys left, which is always nice. Apologize for that. Hope it wasn't too convoluted. And listen, check out the ESL One. I mean, if you want a tournament in Battlefield 4, I think this is it right now with the production values and things. And then if you enjoy that, go and check out Brett and Dogbert's channels and check out all the satellite tournaments and leagues and things.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to look at something that is going to be easy for you to get into, if you follow me on Twitch, I do multiple leagues for our time zones, basically. So I mean, if you're a North American player or a South American player, I do multiple leagues there. You guys, I always have information up there on my channels. In fact, if you go over to my Twitch channel right now, which is twitch.tv/BrettFX, scroll down all the way at the bottom. You'll see all those links there. Every one of those links just about is to a league of some sort. You have War XS League, you have X Game Pro, you have the LBB, you have CEVO, you have ESL, which is Europe, you have ESL Brazil, you have the UMG, which is all PlayStation and Xbox, you have ESB, which is pretty much PlayStation right now. So there's all kinds of leagues and ladders out there for it. You just have to, the problem is just having to know where to get it. And if you guys want to check those out,
well, it was one of my topics of so many leagues, but we didn't get to it, so I cut that out. It was kind of, but yeah, there's as much content as you want. It's up to you how much you want to consume, and for me, it's kind of, I would almost latch yourself onto one league or maybe South America, one region, Euro. So it's more fun when you familiarize yourself a little bit with the players, and you develop a Snarf or a Too Easy, or these are names I know. So I've obviously watched a couple of their games, and they've stood out to me. It's always fun when you kind of at least know who the teams are, and a couple of all right, these are the fraggers, these are the guys I need to be watching. Of course, you guys are going to tell me that, but it's always fun when it's a little more personal in that sense. So I will definitely supply all that in the YouTube version. If you're watching this on YouTube, it's down in the description. But other than that, guys, you guys got anything to add other than that?
Well, I mean, if you really want to keep up with what's going on in leagues, I post everything I cast on YouTube. No, this sound like just
I yelled
very,
at you the other
very
day.
bad
I was
self-promotion
like,
here.
Brett, can
But
you
I
give me my
mean,
timeline back? Because
if
it's
you
just
guys-
dominated right now.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys ever want to watch competitive games, if you want to go back and see, all of the Go 4s and the ESL groups and stuff like that, I have them all up on my channel on YouTube. I have
He's not lying.
all kinds of War XS 10s. I have X Game Pro. I've got all kinds of 5v5s for South America. I mean, if you guys want to check out that stuff, you can. If you want to familiarize yourself with the teams, the players, the maps, how it's played, how the different leagues are played, I explain all of that within the cast. So if you guys want to go check that out, do so. It's a great way to kind of familiarize yourself with what's going on. And also, it's a great way, if you're a new team, to kind of understand how players and teams are playing, and then mimic that, because obviously they know what the hell they're doing, and go play. And it gives you a little bit of a leg up as to what you're doing. I mean, that's exactly what I did when I got into competitive play. I found everything that I possibly could about the top teams that I could find, and I just watched the crap out of their content and then copied it back over within on my team. So I mean, it's a smart thing to do. It might as well not reinvent the wheel. And if you guys want to, it's there you go. It's pretty good content.
I'm gonna cut you off because my stream is going. I don't know what's going on right now. I'm dropping frames like crazy. So I mean, I do have a storm outside, and I lost power. All my power lines are buried. I don't know what the hell's going on, but I got a lot of red going on in my HUD right now. So, Dogbert, if there's anything else you want to add, we're gonna wrap it up. Thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it. Chad, who didn't make it, unfortunately, sorry, buddy. We'll have you on another time. But and Puppy, thank you for joining me, like always. And we'll do this again. Maybe we'll do a recap if something epic happens on the ESL One, and then. I'm gonna be watching it. I hope everybody else here is a little bit. I just wanted to raise awareness if we could. It just